Hi, I'm Dr. SONYA ABDULLA, board-certified dermatologist and medical expert based in Toronto. I'm here to speak to you on UV filters and sun protection. Before we get started, let's throw back a little reminder of the exposome. Our skin exposome is the result of the interaction between internal and external aggressors that we're exposed to throughout our lives. The main internal factors are things like hormones, oxidative stress, metabolism, inflammation, and microbiota. The main external factors are UV exposure and other forms of infrared radiation, pollution, climate change, nutrition, tobacco smoke, and lifestyle factors like stress or lack of sleep. How do we make sure we protect ourselves from UV damage? When we think of sun protection, we often think of protecting ourselves from getting a sunburn. But sun protection is a lot more than that. UV rays affect our skin in different ways, and UV rays can be divided into two different types, ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B. Sunburns are caused by ultraviolet B, but only make up 5% of rays that impact our skin. The other 95% are caused by ultraviolet A exposure. UVB rays are mainly responsible for sunburns. UVB exposure is more intense during the spring and summer seasons and peaks throughout the day between the hours of 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Although you can feel UVB rays do their damage, it's not the case for UVA. Ultraviolet A rays are constantly present throughout the year, regardless of season or weather. And yes, they can penetrate through clouds and glass, including windows. They make up the majority of our ultraviolet light exposure, and they're silent, so we don't recognize their impact until they cause clinical changes or damage to the skin. UVA rays are the class of radiation responsible for the appearance of aging skin, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, crepey texture, and dryness. They're also responsible for the development of skin cancers. What type of sunscreen should you choose? Well, the best sunscreen is going to be the one that you're going to wear. Look for sunscreen formulations that are best going to suit your skincare needs. There are two classes of sunscreen, physical and chemical. Physical sunscreens use zinc oxide and titanium dioxide for broad spectrum UVA and UVB protection. They protect the skin by creating a shield on the skin where UVA rays are reflected off the surface. These typically leave a white cast on the skin, so many formulations are tinted to avoid leaving that gray hue on the skin. If you tend to be more sensitive, physical sunscreens tend to be the class of choice since they tend to be less irritating. Chemical sunscreens work by absorbing ultraviolet light and releasing it into the environment in the form of energy. In order to ensure broad spectrum coverage, meaning both UVA and UVB coverage, special filters like Mexeril are necessary to give adequate levels of UVA protection. In order to properly protect our skin from ultraviolet light damage, I recommend looking for sunscreens with broad spectrum coverage against both ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B rays. They should also have a minimum SPF of 30. In addition to sunscreen, other sun protective behaviors are always helpful. This includes avoiding peak hours of sun exposure, seeking shade, and using clothing like hats, sunglasses, and UV protective clothing to ensure maximum protection. I'll wrap up with a reminder that sunscreen is a priority no matter your skin type and should be integrated into your daily skincare routine regardless of the season or weather.